Hey, it's Vass here from Metro Hobbies, and today we're going to be showing you a brand new product from FMS. This is a Suzuki Jimny. It's a 1/12 scale little crawler car. It's incredibly detailed, and I can't wait to show you what this guy's got to offer. Okay, now this car actually comes in a cardboard box, and then inside the box you're going to see this little carry case, and it's going to have the manual in there. Inside the carry case you're going to see this little bag. It's got the USB charger as well as a little tool to kind of help you work on the vehicle, and then you've got the radio in there as well, which is pretty well equipped. Now this runs on 4 AAA batteries, which are not included with this car, so you are going to need to get those, and that's pretty much it. Now the manual itself is actually very comprehensive. It goes through all the functions and features that the car has got, including how to operate the LED lights, where to turn the car on. There's a lot of useful information in here talking about some of the features that it has as well, how to charge your battery, all the light functions and all of that, which we'll go through very shortly. We've got some exploded views with part numbers and things like that. There's also a little parts list in there as well in case you need to order some parts. So a really nice manual. Not much in the way of tools and accessories, but that's pretty much all you get. And then of course the radio itself, it's only a tiny little thing, but it actually works quite well. It fits in my hand, and I've got pretty big mitts, so that it actually fits in here quite well. You can change the radio frequency or channel frequency. There's some switches here that you can do. So if you've got more than one of these running around, you just flick through these and change them out so they're not the same. And then of course you match that with the car itself, and you can run multiple cars. So you got your reverse switches up the top here, which is pretty standard. You got a bind button in the middle in case you need to rebind the radio to the car. And then the first two dials here on the, as you're looking at it, it'll be on your left hand side. We have steering dual rate up the top and throttle dual rate down the bottom, so you can actually manage the top speed of the car that way. And then you got your steering trim and your throttle trim down the other side. On and off switch, just a very simple switch down the bottom here. And then you have an additional 3-channel switch, which actually is working on this radio, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then you have a little 4-channel switch, which is also working on this radio. Just a push button, and we'll talk about that very shortly as well. So little wheel here, just a plastic wheel. The whole thing actually feels quite good. The throttle trigger actually feels a little bit weighted. It's quite nice. It just doesn't have a stand. It doesn't feel as big as some of the other ones, but it's well equipped, feels good in the hand, and it should work perfectly fine with the car. Okay, so now moving on to the Jimny itself, and as you can see, this is a beautifully detailed little car, and for a 1/12 scale, I know that it's going to look a little bit smaller, but the car naturally is actually quite small in real life, so it kind of makes sense that it's a little bit smaller than your, your typical sort of 12 scale. But scale is a very loosely used kind of measurement in RC. Some things that you think are 10 scale are a lot bigger, and some things that you think are 5th scale are a lot smaller. So it kind of depends on the interpretation of the manufacturer. Now, underneath you'll see that it actually has a whole bunch of little details in there. You've got exhaust pipes, you've got fuel tanks. There's a lot of detail underneath the car itself, which is quite nice. You got mirrors that actually fold in and out in here as well. And these have actually got, I think they've actually got real mirror in there as opposed to just a little chrome sticker. So this is actually really cool because you can actually see yourself in these mirrors. A little spare tire on the back here, which is quite nice. You got hinges, door handles, panel work details, all these sorts of things. Because the body itself is actually plastic. It's a hard plastic body. It's not a typical Lexan body like you'd find on some of the other RCs out there. Scale wheels as well. You've got rotors behind those. So you got like proper rotors in there. Nice little rubber tires that go with these. Really nice scale bumper and scale grille and all that sort of thing. It's really well done. Very, very scale vehicle. This isn't your typical sort of basher crawler that you'll find out there. This is a very detailed vehicle with obviously very unique handling characteristics, given that it's all based on little fine details. The doors on this actually open, so you have both left and right doors will swing open. The back door here will actually come open as well, so you kind of need to use your fingernail to kind of get in there and open that up. There's a little secret compartment in the boot here to put, I don't know, maybe a couple of tools in there or something like that if you want to do that. Some spare body clips for your other cars, I don't know, hide something in there. Foldable seats, so these seats actually fold forward. The front seats also slide forwards and backwards, and then the seat itself will actually tilt forward as well, kind of simulate that someone's going to go in there and sit in the back seat of this car. So a lot of these little details are on here. Now, you might be thinking, how do I get my battery? How do I change batteries? If this is all like hard plastic, you can see that the body is actually bolted on here. Well, they've actually thought of this, and you actually get into your battery compartment through the bonnet. So again, just a little fingernail, pop that open, and that swings open like so. And you'll be greeted with a very nicely detailed engine bay. You'll see like air filters in here, there's batteries, there's pipes and hoses and things everywhere. And then underneath the air filter of the actual car, you'll see that there's a little battery in there. Now, I will say that my battery came in with the cables going in first, and that was really hard to get to because the cable had kind of dropped down to the bottom of the car. So I had to remove the battery, flip it around, and put it in kind of like bum first so that the cables actually faced out, and then I was able to plug it in. So just keep that in mind, that if you are going to take the battery out to charge it, probably better to put it back in bum first and leave the cables kind of facing out towards you. Makes life a little bit easier. And then just on the corner here, there's a little slider switch, which is for your on and off. So that's how you essentially turn the car on and off. And then of course you just slide this guy back down and hear that click, and you're ready to rock and roll. And that pretty much sums it up. Now, you've got a full detailed interior. Now, I know that I was talking about the seats before sliding forward, but you got a full operational dashboard in there as well with old stickers and everything. And one of the really cool features of this, the steering wheel actually turns when you turn the wheel on your radio. So as you're driving along, the wheel's going to be swinging away as per normal. Now, I can imagine that a lot of people will probably find some kind of figurine that they can fit in here, attach the hands to the wheel, and then you'll actually see the figurine turn as you're turning the wheel of the car and steering it away. So, very cool little car. This isn't your typical RC. This is an incredibly well detailed and well thought out little car for those that want that super ultra scale realism. And of course, you know, you've got the LED lights and everything to complement it. A fantastic little addition for those of you out there who really like these types of vehicles, like to do your crawling and like those scale details. So one of the really cool features of this is, of course, the LED lights and you know, the two-speed transmission that's in this car as well. And all of that is remotely operated by this tiny little guy just here. So I'm going to try and demonstrate to you some of the LED light functions that you'll see in here. First off is that little push button just underneath where your thumb would normally sit. If you push that once, you'll see the lights will come on just there, and you'll also have some LED rear lights going on as well. Push it again and you'll have a bit of a high beam that comes on, and then you push it one more time and you'll see the fog lights and the hazard lights will come on. Now you push it one more time and everything sort of goes off except the fog lights. And again, as you are turning this vehicle, you'll see that when I turn to the right indicator starts blinking. If I turn to the left indicator starts blinking. This happens throughout the whole modes as long as you have the lights on. If you have the lights off, those blinker indicators don't work. But the minute you turn that on once, you'll see the indicators will start working as you turn the wheel. Turn it on again, and again you'll see the indicators start working. The only time it doesn't do that is when you go into the full hazard mode with the fog lights and everything. Obviously turning the hazards already on, so you won't see any of that. So turn it again, and you'll see the lights come off. Now on the back, I'll just turn the lights just one more time, and I'll show you how the brake lights work and everything. So as we go forward, you see that the brake lights actually illuminate a little brighter. So, and then when you hit reverse again, you'll see the reverse light go on there on that other side there, which is actually really cool. So go forward, hit the brake lights come on, and then again, reverse fantastic little thing there that they got going on. So I really like that. And then of course, to change gears, it's the third channel just here on top. So at the moment, we've got this in low gear. So this is about as fast as it's gonna go. And then we flick the switch and you'll hear a little bzzz. And now you've got speed mode, which is pretty much a walking pace. Like you're not gonna really chase after this, even with this sort of speed. But again, you've got the ability to change that top speed. If I turn down the dial, see that now I've got no throttle at all if I turn it all the way down. So if I give it a little bit, you're back to going slow mode again with the throttle dual rate. So you can still monitor how fast you want to go by adjusting that throttle dual rate just there, which is kind of cool. So very nice. Now, last thing I'm going to be showing you is, of course, how to open the doors on all of these, on this little guy, because it can be a little bit tricky. So, as I said before, in the back, what I do here is I just give a little bit of a tug on the back wheel, and as soon as there's a gap for me to get my fingernail in there, I can pop the rear door open and it swings open like so. Now, the side doors are a little bit trickier because the seams are actually really tightly done. And again, they're kind of like on a, not a spring loader, it's like a little clamp. So you have to be really careful when you pop them. With this one here, I kind of start up at the top, run my fingernail down till I get to the middle, and eventually it just pops open real nice and easy like that. And then the doors just kind of clip back into place like so, and that's it, ready to go out on the trails and have some fun. And that wraps up another video here at Metro Hobbies. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And as always, check out the video description. We'll have links in there to the Jimny car, as well as links to our social media pages. Thank you again, and I'll speak to you all next time. Hey guys! Decibels.